The women's 400-meter hurdles in Lucerne delivered one of the most dramatic races of the season. Before the race even started, chaos erupted after a controversial false start involving Italy's Alice Moroni, creating tension across the entire field. But once the gun finally went off, the battle between Lina Nielsen, Naomi van den Broek, and Alanah Yukich turned into a thrilling test of speed, rhythm, and mental strength. In this video, we break down every key moment of the race, from the controversial restart to the aggressive opening pace in the brutal final stretch where everything changed.
Naomi van den Broek of Belgium takes lane 6. The Belgium Cheetahs 4x4 squad that have made so many global finals and finally the European bronze in Rome last year. Lina Nielsen takes lane 5. She broke Nicole Jurgen's national indoor 300-meter record. Great flat races over the last few weeks, and the hurdling is improving. She's down to 54.66 so far. Alanah Yukich of Australia goes in lane 4. Personal best in Memphis on Saturday. So a lot of travel to get from Memphis to Switzerland. She was second at the National Championships this year behind Sarah Carlin. Alice Moroni of Italy is there in lane 2. There we go, they've got a camera on her. The World University Games bronze medalist was close to breaking 8 seconds indoors for the 60-meter hurdle. She's done a 100-meter hurdles personal best this year, so we know the speed is there. What can Moroni do here over the full lap? So just 6 athletes. The empty lanes at 1 and 2. Those tight lanes are hard, whatever sprint you're doing, particularly in the hurdles. So the meeting record, 53.63 from Janice Russell, has stood since 2018. The World Championship qualifying mark for this year for Tokyo, 54.65. So Nielsen just 100th off that so far this season. She's the only woman under 55 in this year, so we could see the Brit dominate from lane 5.
Set.
Ooh, I think that could have been perhaps Yukich.
Yeah.
Just a bit of a twitch in the blocks. That's just my first instincts there from watching it the first time. I'm not sure whether we'll get a replay. Moroni making her way off to the side, but I wonder if that's just for a swig of water. Well, and if it is Eileen Demes, I think she could definitely claim crowd interference. Look at those spectators leaning over the barrier, almost in her face. Great to see these small tracks here. We've got a big stand on the home straight here in Lucerne. You can see that in the background, but so much of the other spectators' spaces, standing room only. And there is a red card coming out. What a shame here. One of these 6 women. And is going to Alice Moroni. Going to have a discussion here. She can have a look over at the computer, Alice Moroni, and you can see on my system here from my commentary position, she's been credited with 0.04, nowhere near to the 0.1 limit for reaction time. Well under it. Moroni, just not sure at all, and I think it's hard to just see some figures. Great if Moroni could perhaps see a replay alongside that. She's not kind of associating her experience with that reaction time. We'll have a look here at the replay for us. It's a quick movement there from Alice Moroni. She's one of the athletes that moves first. That's such a shame for Moroni. Each of these races are so important for the athletes. being a Continental Tour silver event, get an opportunity to run and then potentially have it taken away from you. There is a discussion going on here and a shuffling of the cards. I'm not sure what's going to go on here, whether Morero is running under protest. It's come up as disqualified on the computer system. So apologies, I'm not sure what a red and white card means for Morero. Perhaps the indication of that red still being involved, that it's a run under protest for the Italian. So the other women there, they've had a 5 minute, well, not 5 minutes, few minutes, standing around and waiting. Go back to their blocks here. So Morero of Italy in lane 1, perhaps running under protest. Alanah Yukich of Australia goes in lane 4. Lina Nielsen, the fastest woman in the field, goes in lane 5. Naomi van der Broek of Belgium in lane 6. Lina Vernley of Switzerland in lane 7. And Eileen Demes of Germany in 8. And no problems in the second start of the women's 4 hurdles. Good start from Moreno, the Italian on the inside, perhaps fired up with the adrenaline from that false start. Nielsen going well down the back straight, perhaps Lina Nielsen with an early lead, as you would expect, one of the fastest women in the field. They disappear over onto the back straight. It is Lina Nielsen with an early lead as they go through the halfway stage. And the athletes on the outside pushing each other well, Vernley and Demes, the Swiss and the German athlete, and Demes, the German athlete, just finding a burst of speed there as she hit the halfway point. Just stuttering now, the German, into that hurdle on the top end. Lina Nielsen will hope that this stagger unwinds with her in the lead, but it could be the German athlete, Eileen Demes, with a lead ahead of the Brit. They both take that barrier side by side, and Van der Broek of Belgium closing strongly as well. That's 1 hurdle left for these athletes. They drive, they sprint over the final 50 metres. Lina Nielsen just ahead of Naomi van der Broek, 54.76. It is a clocking underneath for 55 seconds. Again for Lina Nielsen, she's done that a few times this season. Van der Broek, though, hasn't gone under 55, but I think there with that run, there it is, 54.78. That's a new lifetime best for the Belgian by a couple of hundredths. Eileen Demes, I wonder if she just tired over the last 100 metres. It's hard when you're out in lane 8 and you haven't got other athletes to gauge your pace from. And Lina Nielsen felt like she was aggressive, she was good over the first 150. Had to fight for it in the last 100 metres. You see Demes stuttering into that penultimate barrier, fighting hard to regain that momentum, but at this stage in the race when you're full of lactic, that's pretty hard. Lina Nielsen holding her form well there in the last 50 metres. Good win for Lina Nielsen. No easy way to do a 4 hurdles. Pretty much an event that will always put you on the floor afterwards. Those are results, 54.74 for Lina Nielsen. Naomi van der Broek, personal best, 54.78. Eileen Demes, 55.39, holding on for 3rd place. And Morero, it is confirmed there as a disqualification for the Italian. So unless she can argue something, she goes away now before her warm down. I think it will have been just a exhibition run for Morero, run under protest.
The women's 400-meter hurdles in Lucerne became one of the most dramatic and psychologically demanding races of the European season. What looked at first like a routine continental-level final quickly transformed into a chaotic contest filled with controversy, emotional pressure, tactical discipline, and a powerful closing performance from Great Britain's Lina Nielsen. By the end of the race, the result was not only about time on the clock, it became a demonstration of composure under pressure and the importance of rhythm in one of track and field's most unforgiving events. Everything started before the gun even fired. Italy's Alice Moroni became the center of attention after officials signaled a false start. The reaction time shown by the system was an almost impossible 0.04 seconds, far below the legal threshold and clearly suspicious to athletes and spectators alike. Moroni immediately reacted with disbelief. Her body language suggested frustration mixed with confusion because the movement appeared minimal and not consistent with a deliberate jump from the blocks. The delay that followed changed the emotional atmosphere of the race completely. In sprint hurdling events, concentration is everything. Athletes spend several minutes mentally preparing for the exact rhythm they want to execute over the barriers. A long interruption destroys that focus. Instead of entering the race with calm aggression, the athletes were forced to stand on the track, wait for officials, and restart their mental preparation from zero. That situation often punishes inexperienced runners, but it also creates opportunities for athletes with superior emotional control. Eventually, Moroni was allowed to compete under protest, and the race restarted. Once the gun finally sounded, Lina Nielsen immediately imposed her authority on the field. Her opening 120 meters were extremely aggressive, but importantly, they never looked rushed. That distinction matters enormously in the 400-meter hurdles. Many athletes attack the first half too hard and lose their technical shape after hurdle 6 or 7. Nielsen instead maintained balance between speed and stride efficiency. From the first hurdle, her rhythm pattern looked controlled. She attacked the barriers with confidence, maintaining excellent posture between hurdles and minimizing vertical motion. That technical efficiency is one of the reasons she has become such a reliable sub-55-second performer this season. Rather than relying purely on sprint speed, Nielsen has developed the ability to preserve momentum while clearing hurdles, which saves critical fractions of a second over the full lap. Behind her, the race quickly separated into multiple battles. Belgium's Naomi van den Broek focused on maintaining contact through the middle stages. Van den Broek is known for her composure and technical discipline rather than explosive starts, and once again she used patience as her primary weapon. While others appeared tense after the restart controversy, she stayed mechanically consistent, especially from hurdles 4 through 7, where races are often won or lost. Australia's Alanah Yukich delivered one of the most interesting performances tactically. Instead of trying to match Nielsen early, she allowed herself to settle into a sustainable rhythm during the first 200 meters. That decision became important later in the race because several athletes began fading badly entering the final bend. Yukich looked increasingly strong as the field approached hurdle 8, where fatigue usually destroys stride precision. One of the defining aspects of this race was how physically demanding the final 100 meters became. The 400-meter hurdles is often described as a sprint event, but in reality it becomes a battle against deceleration and technical collapse. By hurdle 9, athletes are no longer running fresh. Their legs are filling with lactate, stride patterns are breaking down, and every barrier feels higher than before. The athletes who survive are usually the ones who maintain mechanics, rather than the ones with the fastest raw speed. That is exactly where Nielsen separated herself from the field. Her final bend was remarkably composed. Even while visibly under pressure physically, she continued attacking the hurdles instead of hesitating before takeoff. That aggression prevented any major loss of momentum. Her lead did not explode dramatically, but it became increasingly secure because her competitors began losing rhythm. Meanwhile, Naomi van den Broek produced a strong closing phase. She started gaining ground over the final straight as athletes around her tightened up technically. Her ability to stay relaxed through the last 2 hurdles allowed her to remain competitive until the finish line. It was not necessarily the flashiest run in the field, but from a technical perspective, it may have been one of the smartest. Alanah Yukich also impressed with her resilience late in the race. While others struggled to maintain stride patterns, Yukich continued fighting aggressively over the barriers. Her performance showed significant competitive maturity because she never panicked despite the chaotic buildup before the start. What made this race especially compelling was the emotional context surrounding it. After the false start controversy, every athlete faced a difficult psychological reset. Some runners clearly carried tension into the race itself, while others adapted immediately. In elite hurdling, mental stability is often just as important as physical preparation, because hesitation before even one hurdle can destroy an entire race. Lucerne ultimately delivered far more than a simple result sheet. It showcased the brutality of the 400-meter hurdles, where athletes must combine sprinting speed, technical precision, endurance, and emotional control over a full lap. Lina Nielsen emerged as the strongest athlete on the day, not simply because she ran fast, but because she handled every element of chaos better than anyone else in the field. For Naomi van den Broek and Alanah Yukich, the race also confirmed their growing consistency at the international level. Both demonstrated the ability to remain technically disciplined under pressure, which is essential heading deeper into the championship season. In the end, this was not just another European meeting race. It became a reminder of why the women's 400-meter hurdles remains one of athletics' most dramatic events. A race where rhythm, courage, and mental toughness are tested from the first hurdle to the final lean at the line.